Right, cool. We are live. Right. Whew, it is Sunday. I hope that you can forgive me because I'm wearing just a t-shirt, but I've been outside all day. It is ridiculously hot. And so, hi Veronica. You know what? You might be the only person here tonight. Honestly, because it's so ridiculously hot. But anyway, as you guys are joining live, just make sure that you introduce yourself and say hello. My name is Rudnicka, as you know, and I help women let go of the emotional break so they can finally get into action, to the necessary action that they know they need to be doing to create the life and business of their absolute dreams. Yes, it will be intimate. And by the way, you guys, have you tried this? And by the way, obviously this is not a YouTube channel, so it's not like I'm being paid for this, right? If you guys haven't tried this ice cream, this is Magnum with crackling chocolate. Oh my god, it's so ridiculously good. If you like ice cream and if you like chocolate, they're amazing. And as I said, no, I'm not absolutely getting paid. I'm just saying because for some reason it came as a mistake because I get my groceries delivered, right? Like I don't go to the shop, I don't have time for this. And by mistake, it got delivered in my shopping. I didn't even have to pay for it. I'm like, thank you, universe. Obviously, it means I'm supposed to be eating it, right? So I shared it with Mia, with my daughter, and oh my god, it's so good. But anyway, as opposed to talking food, we will be talking what you need to get food, which is money, right? So today is the last day of the 7 days challenge, and tonight we are talking sales and confidence. And it's one of the topics that I think I definitely will be covering more and more stuff. And please just say hello, whoever it is that you join me, because I can't see you. I don't know who you are unless you say hello in the comments. But welcome. Thank you so much for coming live. I really appreciate your valuable time that you've decided to spend with me tonight. We won't be going for long, probably about for about 20 minutes. Hi, Sue. Hope you're feeling better. Right. And so here is the thing, I definitely want to spend more time talking about sales, much more than I will be talking tonight. What we will be talking about tonight is the kind of intangible fundamentals, because they're crucial for you to understand the fact that, just in case you didn't realize, if you are in business, you're going to have to get over this thing called sales. So many times do I hear, and you could be one of those people, I used to be one of those people, right, who are like, yeah, you know what? I love my business. I love working with my clients. I really love what I do. I really like honing on my skills and working on my craft. However, I just hate sales. And why? Why are we like this? Why is there anything wrong with, like, you know what? I love making money in my business. What's wrong with that? Where did women go like this? It's normal for guys. Why do we be ourselves up because we want money? There is nothing wrong with that, especially if you are really, really good and you're providing life-changing results to your clients, right? And so tonight we will be covering those topics, those kind of crucial components that you need to have. And so let's get right into it, because we're already we've been going for a few minutes. So number one thing is that you really need to know is that sales is energy, money is energy, selling is all about energy, which means that while we are interacting right now, there is a certain energy that you can read from me. And hopefully it's an energy that I really want to be here. I'm actually having a really good time speaking to you live. I'm really enjoying myself and I really care about what I do, and I'm honest and caring. Hopefully this is the energy that you're getting, right? Because we can sense, us human beings are still animals. And just like animals, we have this, hi Rona, lovely to see you, lovely. Right? And so as animals, we still have those instincts. Let me just ask you this question, and this is important even when we talk about sales, even though you think it's not connected. Just ask yourself mentally in your head right now, when was the last time, do you remember that time when you maybe met someone? Maybe you've just met them, maybe it's a colleague from work, maybe it's someone that you've met at a party, and even though there was everything coming out of their mouth that was fine, like they spoke fine and the words were fine and everything was okay, and then they had eye contact with you and they were smiling, yet you were just like ding, 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 alarm, do not trust that person. Right? So if you've ever had experience like that, just type yes in the comments so I know that you understand what I'm talking about. And so I'm talking about a normal person who comes across completely normal to you, yet you know that there is something missing, that you shouldn't be trusting them. This is energy. This is your intuition knowing that this person has got that some sort of, bad intention at somewhere there, and then maybe even after some time you found out that they were a bad person, or they were trying to get something out of you, that sort of stuff. Yeah, exactly, right? And so here is the thing. Here is why it's important in sales, because just like you can read all the people, you now need to start understanding that your potential clients will be reading you. And so if your energy is not where it's supposed to be, and we're going to be talking about those two types of energy in a second, then you're dead in the water. This is why where you go on a sales call and you say all the right things and you smile and the words are fine and everything else, when inside you feel fearful, they can sense that off you like a dog, because these are the kind of instincts that we have from those old times to protect us, and they're still there. People will sniff it off you. That's why it's so important that you master your internal game, so when you are on that call, you can rise to be that reader that they're like, oh my God, you know what? This person is something else. I better work with them, right? Because remember, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever field that you're doing, there are plenty of other people doing what it is that you're doing. And so you need to really hone your skills, not in terms of what you say, but how you feel about yourself. So let's just quickly talk about the two types of energy that there are, right? I'm so thirsty tonight. So there is a supportive, there's a kind of supportive, positive energy, and then there is the repelling energy. So that's the energy when I told you that, even though on the surface everything is okay, you will repel people by your energy, how you're coming across. And so, the supportive energy, the positive, good, trustworthy energy is when you are curious about the other person, right? When you don't care what they think of you, when you are not in that process, when you know yourself enough to know that you have nothing to prove and that you are not showcasing to them, it's actually the other way around. And this is something that when we are new, if you're struggling with this, I just want to tell you, from the hundreds of conversations that I've had so far, we all in the beginning struggle with this. And you will struggle with this until you are not. And I know it sounds really bad, but there is no other way to stop having that feeling of like, oh my God, I'm having a sales call tonight, they better like me, right? Until you can get yourself to the stage when you're like, I'm having a sales call tonight, I'm going to rock it out. And then if they want to sign up, then they will. If they don't, that's fine too, because I know that my pipeline is growing. I know that I've got a strategy in place. So if they don't sign up, then there will be someone else. Make sense? And so if you're feeling like this, just really give yourself permission to be okay with that. And know from someone who's been there, I used to be terrified of sales, that it's just a process, it's just a skill, it's not a big deal. And so what are the types of energy that are coming across really well? What have I got here? Obviously being honest, being confident. So again, being confident is that moment where you do not need to get your confidence from outside of yourself, which means that if the potential client tells you, I don't think I want to work with you, you are not affected. You are not suddenly like, when you have that rush of energy on the call, when someone says something and suddenly you feel like, those energy, that the kind of heat really hits your face. You're like, what do I say now? What do I say now? Why confidence in when you no matter what they say, you compose because you're cool. You know that you've got it. You know that it's not about you. Whatever feelings that they're struggling with, or whether they don't have the money, or whether they say, oh, you don't understand how hard it is, and all of those excuses and reasons. I get it. I know that sometimes they're valid reasons. I used to cry on my bathroom floor from fear at 6 o'clock every single morning because I was in so much debt. I understand, right? At the same time, when we decide to take responsibility, we really see that if we don't move forward, there are excuses, as harsh as it sounds, right? And so all of those types of energy are good energy when you don't need their validation. You don't need them to like you. You don't need them to say, oh my God, you're such a great coach. Because what if one day they say that you're not a great coach? And that will happen. That will happen. You will be criticized by your clients sooner or later. And so this is a supportive energy when you are curious about the other person, when you are confident, when you are not relying on them liking you. This is so important. If there is one thing that you want to really get to masterful coaching in terms of your coaching skills, then this is it. The sooner you can make a switch from worrying what to say because the client might get upset, the quicker you will be able to be a powerful leader to lead them and hold them in this uncomfortable space. When the conversation becomes uncomfortable, if you are able to be in the uncomfortable process without taking anything personally, oh my God, things change and people respect you so much more. Because do you know what? There are so many shitty coaches out there who just want their money because coaching is cool and coaching is being fun, that if you are not able to be in the uncomfortable and be honest with them, of course, always ask permission, being professional as always. But if you are able to go into those dark, uncomfortable, fearful places with them, they will appreciate you and they will praise you and they will talk about you and they will sell you to other clients. It's as simple as that. So what's the opposite of that? The opposite of the good positive energy that you can generate in yourself before the sales call is the repelling energy. This is the energy that will literally just be like, I can't really put my finger on it. I don't know what it is. She's cool, she's fine, but I don't want to work with her and I don't know why. And then they will start coming up with excuses. They will tell you that it's not the right time, and they will tell you that, they need to speak to a spouse, or they will say, and sometimes they need to speak to the spouse, right? But there's a difference between speak to the spouse and use it as an excuse. And the best way for you to find out is if you ask them when they tell you this, in terms of an objection, a quick tip on that. If you ask them when they tell you this, is it okay for me to coach you through that conversation? And if they say no, it means that they're just using it as an excuse. If it's a valid objection, then they will want your coaching expertise to say, yeah, it could be a difficult conversation. Would you guide me through that? And so you can give them some tips on how to speak to their spouse, right? That's how you know. But if they keep coming up with excuses, then you know that there was maybe that repelling energy. Maybe you were just not right match for them. And you generate repelling energy when you are needy. Selling is a little bit like dating, right? And so remember, for some of you that, maybe you're single, or remember the time when you were single. You remember those guys who would be, please go out with me. Come on, you're so pretty. Like, you are so pretty. You're so attractive. Like, I like you so much. Please go out with me. I really I want to go out with you. And it would message you again and again. And what does it do to you? It turns you off. Boom, completely. The attraction is lost. Selling is like dating, which means that the clients need to have the respect and they need to be attracted to you. Obviously on a different energy than sexual energy, but attraction, is more than just being between a female and a male. It could be between two females and it could be between two males, right? We know this. I'm not that clever to come up with this, but when you are being needy, it repels the potential client. And so that means that if you need the money, you will need to really get yourself skilled, and it's absolutely doable to take some time to meditate or do some whatever it is that you need to do before the call, before you get on the call. So you are clearing your head from please buy, because otherwise I'm not going to have money for rent this month, to get yourself out of that place to being that expert for them. Because again, it will transmute, it just will. Second type, being desperate, being hungry, and being scared of judgment. So can you see how all of those examples are just the direct opposite of the good energy, right? So not wanting judgment is a good, not having anything to prove, not being needy of being liked, right? And then being scared of judgment. What's going to happen if I say to the client, you know what, hi Paulina, you know what, I think in my opinion this is the right package for you, and I think it's the right time for you to progress, and I think you should really take the opportunity and take advantage of this chance and enroll. Right? If you are scared of what the client is going to need or is going to think of you, if you are scared that they will think, oh my God, yeah, of course she's going to say that because she wants the money. How many times do you feel like that? How many times do you feel that if you say something to the client, they will judge you because you want the money, or because you're greedy, because you're this and that or whatever, or because, oh, she only just says that because she says that. Right? This is your ego speaking to all of those things. They can sense it. So if it makes sense to you, then let me know, right? And so sales is about energy. Money is about energy. We are not talking money today. That's a whole complete another beast. If you have any money blocks or money stories, if you are scared of receiving, then that will be an issue as well. But we're not talking about that tonight. So that's something maybe that I will cover another time with you. So number two, what have I got? Number two. So here's the number one thing that you need to remember before you get on the sales call about your potential client. You have got to remind yourself about it. Why there's notification coming up? Sorry. You have got to remind yourself about it all the time. If need be, in the beginning, get yourself a post-it note, put it on your computer if you are doing your conversations, via Zoom. Get yourself a post-it note and write on the post-it note this: the reason why the client has booked a sales call with me is because they want help. Hallelujah, right? Again, that will help you to bring yourself to the right focus and the right energy. When someone wants to get on the phone with you to potentially discuss how to work with you, that means that you have 100% of chances of getting them as a client. Now, whether they enroll or not, that's a completely different story. Don't worry about that. But just remember, right? All of your fears, all of your neediness, all of your being desperate if you knew and you actually do need money, right? Because some of us, when we start the business, we actually do need the money. And so just remember that. They want your help and they're seeking for help. And if you, that would be another point. So that leads us to number 3. Accept your true responsibility as a coach. For me, it was probably a game changer. I had one of my mentors say that, because again, I used to be so scared of thinking that, that I will be judged, that I just want the money, that I don't actually want to help them, that I'm just like selling, right? Your number one responsibility as a coach during the sales conversation, and also for the rest of the journey of the client's journey with you, is just the number one thing, is to accept your responsibility to activate the untapped potential in your client. I'm going to repeat this. Your number one responsibility as a client is to activate your client and their untapped potential. Not many people talk about this. Right? Because again, there is so many coaches who just like, oh yeah, sign up with me for 3 months and we do this, things, Y and Z. But deeper work is never comfortable, and it's never like ha, right? Having chit chats. It requires courage, and then it requires stepping up from both points. And when the coach tells you, oh yeah, the responsibility is 100% with the client, yes it is. But a good coach, a coach who really wants to have a good reputation, will also accept a large portion or proportion of responsibility for stepping up and leading the client, right? Activating them, which means that when you're having a sales conversation with someone, and because of your level of expertise, you know that they can progress by working with you. And you don't go into the uncomfortable places to overcome the objection and do whatever you need to do or whatever is possible for you to do, to ask them various questions and various scenarios. Sometimes even you will need to be discussing and brainstorming ideas, how are you going to come up with the money? Like, I know that you want to work with me, but I know that you don't have the funds, but I know that you're serious about it. Therefore, I'm going to say, you know what? Do you want me to have a conversation with you, and brainstorm some ideas how you can come up with the funds, right? So when you have and let me tell you this, if you are scared of having those conversations, they're going to go and spend the money somewhere else. They just will, because they want that change. And how many times, and again, if you're struggling with this, always flip the situation. Rona Wiseman, isn't it 50-50 responsibility? For what, Rona? What's responsibility for what? If you clarify that for me, then I will answer. Right, I've been talking so much I've lost my plot now. Right, and so when you have the courage and to step up and say, you know what, it is up to me to activate the potential in them, because you can see the things that they can't see. Then both client and coach responsibility for what? For creating the results. Here is the thing, Rona, it's not exactly just like that. At the end of the day, when a client works with me, they've got 100% of responsibility for their own results, because I'm not with them 24/7. Now, having said that, I will work my hardest. I will think about them when they're not with me. I will come up with ideas. I will respond to the email as quickly as I can. I will give them my best stuff. I will share everything that I have. And beyond, I always want to give my clients more than they paid for. But it's their life. It's their responsibility. I don't know whether they apply everything what I tell them, right? Some clients are, most of my clients I've never met in real life. They're either in different part of England, or heck, they're abroad. They're not even in the same country as me. And so, us as human beings, me as Alex, as a private person, I have 100% responsibility for my results. And so do my clients. Yeah? Yeah, exactly, Sue. And so it's just about that. But then at the same time, obviously, as a coach, you have the responsibility to do your best work. Because if you don't care, then then there's obviously, I don't want to even talk about those kind of coaches, because I don't have time for that, right? They shouldn't even be in a business, and they will not be, because they will go broke. Right. The next thing, right? Have a sales process in place, which means you need to know before you get on the call how you're going to open up the call, how are you going to set up the call so the control is always on your side, so you feel in control, so the client is not hijacking the conversation and trying to interview you, right? You are bringing the power back to yourself, and you are interviewing the client. That's the way it goes. They're applying to work with you. You are not auditioning to become their coach, right? And you need to know what the process is, as in, like, what do you need to talk about for them to be able to make an informed decision whether or not they want to work with you, right? And there's a lot of things that you need to talk about. You really need to take some time to explore those things. And then you also need to know when is the time that you are then bridging to closing the sale, and how you actually do that. How to use an assumptive language, I will teach you in a second. But if you don't have that process, and if you're just getting on the call with, like, hoping that it will go well, it's going to go to shit, right? And so you need a written strategy, like a written script, like how do you open up the call? what's happening in the middle of the call, what's happening at the end of the call, how do you overcome objections. If you're not able to close them on the phone, which is sometimes okay, sometimes people really just need 24 hours to think about it. They have the money, they have no objections, they just want to think about it. And in my opinion, I think that's okay. I think that's cool. I don't tend to be one of those who like, no, you need to make a decision like right now, right? And so once you have that, you then need to practice. So when you do a live call, you know exactly what you will be covering and when. Next thing, right. So this is a very good strategy as well that can help you. Again, if you're struggling with those fears, another thing that you can put on a post-it note on your computer or on your phone before you get on the phone is this: release the outcome. I mean, honestly, just completely chill out and let go. If you are going to the call with the energy of like, oh my God, they need to buy, again, you are activating the repelling energy rather than the nurturing, positive, supportive energy, right? And so release the outcome, which means that whatever will be, I will stay curious. If you stay curious and you focus on the client as opposed to focusing on yourself, this is actually the next point. So this is what you're supposed to be doing throughout the call. You need to train yourself mentally to get out of your head. And as opposed to, you know, when you have that chatter, when you speak to someone, do they like me? Did I say this right? And when you're trying to listen to them, you're asking yourself, what was the next thing that I'm supposed to say in the sales call? And you're running through your head. You're not being present. You're missing on vital information that they're giving you, right? And so it's super, super important that during the call, all of your focus and all of your curiosity is focused on the client. Who is this person? How can I help them? What is it that they're struggling with? Really put yourself in their shoes. And again, it's one of those energetic things that if you do that, people sense that. You know, I once had a lady who signed up with me. She was very, very successful in business. She was actually, this is how deep this goes, right? So I had a free session with this woman. Listen to this. She earns much more than me. She's been in business for a long time, much more experience than me when this happened. And she signed up with me to work with me on her confidence. Do you know why? And she said to me, you know what? You are the first person ever. You are the first business coach who told me, you know what? I think you're perfectly fine. I don't think you need a business coach. I think your business is going just fine. And she was so shocked that I said that to her, because she was used to having conversations with different business coaches who were trying to sell her, and they were not listening to her. Now, what I did during that conversation with her, I listened to her and I said, you know what? I think your business is doing brilliant. I think you're doing just fine. I don't think you should be changing anything at all because it's working. You're making plenty of money, but your confidence is not where it needs to be. You're not leading your business the way you want to do it. You're constantly worrying what other people think of you. And so my question for you is this: if you don't work on this, where are you going to be in 12 months? And she signed up with me on the spot. Boom, ready to go. Can you see? Because I wasn't focused on getting the sale. I got the sale because I really did. And she said to me, she also said to me, you know what? I really feel like you care about me. You know, these are the things that, you know, salespeople don't teach you this. But remember, you are talking to another human being. If you genuinely care and want to help, and again, not from that needy place, not from the like, oh, let me take care of you, but just from the like, I think you're awesome. And if you walk with me, you will be even more awesome, right? That's where two good characters can really do amazing business with you. Let me know if this is resonating with you. And you know, I think an example of this lady who signed up with me just because I told her that she actually doesn't need me. And I wasn't even prepared to get the sale, but through this, I had something else that I knew I could help her with. Sign up. Easy as that. Yeah, exactly. Right. Next thing, have standards for potential clients. So you should have your requirements for your clients, as in like, who will you work with? Well, I'm going to wrap it up in the next 5 minutes. I will try. Who will you work with and who will you not work with? This is super important. And so here's another thing. Who do they need to be and what do you need to tell them in order for you to even want to work with them, right? I once had a lady who kept questioning me as in like, why do you need 3 months for this? Why can't you do it in 2 months? And I said to her, because you probably will fail and it will not work. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, when we do it for the first few times, it's not going to work because it takes testing and tweaking for this particular strategy to be worked out. And she said, oh, so maybe you don't know what you're doing. And I said, listen, let me ask you this question. What if you hire me for 3 months and after 3 months you haven't got the result? What are you going to do then? Do you know what she said to me? She said to me, well, I'm going to quit. And I said, you know what? If you think that you're going to try to make your business work for 3 months and you're not going to get there after 3 months, then you're going to quit. I literally just ended the call there and there. And I just said, I'm not your coach. So I may be, I have no recommendations for you right now, but we are not the right fit. Thank you so much. And within 30 seconds, I was off the call. Boom, just like that. See? Because I need to know that my clients are not going to give up, even if it becomes hard, because it will become hard. It's right. And so you need to know what kind of standards you have for your clients. And if they are high, Simona Lovely, and if they are not meeting those standards, you simply are just telling them, we're not the right fit. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed the call. Wish you all the best. And you let them go. And so you figure out. But, main things that I have is that, they have to respect me. They have to respect me. I can't have them, disrespect me and try to put their drama on me or whatever, right? I will guide them through no matter how dark the place is. But I will not have them try to come and say, well, you didn't do this, you did that, because I know what the standards of my work, right? I will, they need to pay on time. If someone is paying in installments, I'm sorry to say that if they don't pay the installment on time, I'm finishing, because I'm not a charity and I've been on the side. I've been that client who hustled to pay my coach before I paid myself. I know how it is. And if I could do it, then I expect the same thing from my client, right? I also expect them to come on time. I don't expect them to be cancelling every single session and constantly messing up with my diary. Stuff happens. Sometimes I need to reschedule. Sometimes they need to reschedule, and that's cool. But, within some boundaries, and I will not accept them. I will not accept them trying to come across as desperate, like they want me to rescue them. Because again, my clients need to know that the responsibility is with them, although I'm with them 100%. Makes sense? And so I only work with serious people who actually will take action. And so yeah, think about what kind of requirements do you have for your clients, and if you have none, then again, you're leaving yourself open to the people who could be treating you badly, and you just don't want to do that. Why would you do that for yourself? Next thing, we only have 2 things to cover, and then we are finished. Right, number 7. Ask for the sale using assumptive language. So, no more. So, do you like it? What do you think about it? Right? I mean, I just want to shake you. And yes, I totally was that person too. But here are really good phrases for you to use. So this is after you've had the conversation with them. And this is when you really want them, you really want to be very direct and with full courage, just ask them. So, Alex, do you want to work with me? Or you can say, when would you like to get started? Or what else have I got there? Yeah, so you can also say, how would you like to pay? When would you like to complete the payment by? And after that, shut up. Like nada. Do not say a word. Nothing. And as uncomfortable the silence is, you stay in the silence and you let them talk. Because at that point, if you've done your job correctly and you've identified all of the obstacles before, then they will either say just yes or no. It's as simple as that. And most of the time, if they're still on the call at that moment, then they will just say yes, or they will object and they will say, I would love to work with you, but X, Y, and Z. I don't know if I have enough funds. So can I get back to you because I need to figure out if I can pay for it, right? Or I need to speak to my spouse, or I need to, think about it. And then at that point, then again, you will then need to learn how to overcome objections. But again, that is another whole challenge on its own, how to overcome objections. So we will cover that another time. And number 9, the last thing, this is so important. Know the difference between discovery and finding out about the client, right? And having the money conversation, because they're two completely different things. And so when you are having a conversation with someone and let's just say you're telling them what you would be covering with them, right? If you were to work together, and they say to you, Alex, this sounds really great, but it's not the right time. I haven't got the funds to invest right now. And they were trying to hit you with like the money thing before they made a decision whether you're the right fit for them or not. You want to gently bring them back and just say something along the lines like, listen, Alex, we're not talking about the money right now. So is it okay if we just explore first whether we are the right fit or not, and then we can focus on the money conversation after we've done that? Would that be all right with you? And they will always say yes. Like no one ever says no, right? And if they say no, then they're not real. They're not interested. So you might as well hang up the phone. Because here is the thing. I want to be really careful with my words here. I used to be one of those people who, when I heard people who were more advanced than me, I would say something like, but you don't understand, like I provide for my daughter and for my dad, and if I don't make the money, there is nowhere for me to go. I have no parents to give me money, I have no uncles, I have no aunties, like it's just me, you don't understand. And then they would say, if you made the decision, you figure it out. And I used to get so angry and upset and totally in like, you don't get it, you don't know how hard it is for me. So I understand if this is triggering you and if you are getting potentially irritated, that's cool, right? I used to too. But here is the truth. If you have a conversation with someone and you are the right match for them and they want to work with you and they've made a decision, this is different from having the money. This is completely separate, right? And they know what results they could get from working with you, and you want to work with them. So it's that kind of, joint partnership when you both want to work, with each other. The money is never an issue. And that means that even if they say they haven't got the money, there are ways that if they want, if they really want the results, they will come up with the investment. And I'm sorry if I'm upsetting you, and not only for those of you who are watching the live, but for those who are watching the replays. But that is just the truth. That is the truth. And again, coming back to the situation, when I was sitting on my bathroom floor and I was just about to take out a loan for £12,000, for 12 grand to pay for a year-long coaching course, right? And I was going through reductions in my company. I was on the brink of losing my job, right? Make a decision then. Do I take a 12 grand loan, or do I wait to find out whether I've lost the job or not? And I couldn't wait with the decision because there was a deadline. Sign up by this date, or we're closing the doors. They couldn't wait for me to find out whether I was going to be reducing my job or not. Make a decision, right? I didn't know whether I was going to lose my job and then not be able to afford the repayments. Heck, wouldn't have the money for rent. And I'm not telling you because, there is a difference between irresponsible. I took the responsibility for that decision, and I've made a decision to take the risk, and I've invested in that year-long course. And you know what? 3 days later, I found out that it was someone else who lost the job. I saved my job, and I was all right, right? But in the moment of the decision, I was really sitting on the bathroom floor and thinking to myself, am I being totally irresponsible right now? Am I putting my family at risk? Am I being an idiot? Am I one of those people who are just like dream talkers, but they actually put themselves deeper in the shit and they never get out? So know the difference between the discovery and the money conversation, because when the client wants to really work with you and they're really truly committed, the money is never the issue. And if you don't believe me, then just go back to any of the clients who told you, I have no money, I really can't do it. You know what, if I would love to work with you, honestly would love to work with you, but I just can't, I would pay you in a snapshot, right? If I had the money, but I just don't have the money. And then 2 weeks later, you see them going on holidays. They didn't have the money, or they didn't know the priorities. I know it's tough. I get it, but that's business. And if you want to grow, if you're serious about your growth, then you're gonna have to be making those uncomfortable decisions, right? And so this is it. This is it for the 7 days life challenge. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I am thinking about doing a separate challenge just on the sales process. I would probably call it Fall in Love with Sales. But as I'm kind of giving you an update on the coaching offer, if you guys have any questions, yes, Veronica, amen. If you guys have any questions, then you can type them now. For those of you who are watching the replay, as usual, you know the drill. I will be coming back to the video to watch, to kind of answer your questions in the comments if you're watching the replay. In terms of the coaching spots, there are 2 spots left. There's only one spot left to work with me for 6 months. Thank you so much, Rhonda, for attending live. I really appreciate that. 1 spot left to work with me for 6 months for £2,500 instead of £4,000. And there is 1 spot for a very, very special person who's super serious about the results to work with me for 12 months for the price of £4,000. So those slots are still open, and the deadline to have a conversation with me and to complete your payment and sign up with me is the next Wednesday coming up, which is the 21st of June. Message me or email me or contact me via a private messenger. We can schedule those chats, but do not wait any longer because those spots will be filled. It's as simple as that. It's too good of an opportunity for you guys to pass it on. So with that being said, thank you so much. I absolutely loved it. I actually didn't think that I would love doing live videos so much. I hope that your confidence has grown. If you want to let me know later on what you've taken away from the challenge, I really would appreciate it. But until then, I will say bye, and I really appreciate with you being with me live. Thank you. Bye.